Today we're going for a walk in this amazing space. This is one of York's lesser known ancient burial grounds. We're in the churchyard of St Olave's Church on Marygate, just outside the city centre. York has many ancient medieval churches. This is one of them, but it's just off the beaten track and not many people come here. Fewer people still have an opportunity to come into this burial ground, which is only recently open to the public. At the moment, there is an exhibition of ghosts, wire mesh sculptures around the city centre, as there generally is in October every year nowadays. So this churchyard is open. Because we're overlooking the site of the ruins of the Benedictine Abbey, dedicated to St Mary, there are some sculptures here which are of monks, the ghosts of monks. They're actually really cool and I really like them. But this is a really special space because we're on a different side of the monastic ruins to what a lot of people normally see in the museum gardens, where the Yorkshire Museum is today. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to come and show you some of my favourite headstones and memorials in this wonderful ancient churchyard. Many of the late Georgian and Victorian monuments in this churchyard have remarkable stories to tell, but some of them, and my particular favourites, are those to more ordinary people, people who were bakers, watchmakers, carvers in particular, because whilst you have monuments to eminent people, worthies of York like William Etty and Daniel Isaac and others, you do also have these monuments here. These are to the Wolstenholmes. And there is one particular epitaph on one of those stones to Thomas Wolstenholme, which I think is perfect for this setting. In fact, it mentions these monastic ruins. In the middle of the 18th century, a number of members of a family called Wolstenholme left Barkisland parish at Halifax to settle in York. They were wool combers, silk weavers and fringe manufacturers. One of the second generation of the family, Thomas Wolstenholme, left the family calling and became a carver and gilder. When Thomas died in 1812, he left his business to his younger brother Francis. Francis, who died in 1833, left his trade as a silk and weaver to take on his brother's business. He was joined by his son John, who was employed to carve the new bosses for York Minster after the Nave fire in 1840. In 1797, Thomas Wolstenholme instructed the building of two houses on nearby Jillygate, numbers 3 and 5, which are still there today and form a symmetrical pair, 4 stories high. Thomas occupied number 3 himself, and the property remained in the family until 1887. Unfortunately, the original very elegant front elevation of the building has been adapted by the introduction of 20th century shop fronts and some other changes to the fenestration. For example, the second floor windows did not project as they do today. The Wolstenholme name might also sound familiar for its association with the statue of Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, on the corner of Minster Gates and Stonegate, which is to be seen reclining against a pile of books. A York Civic Trust article states one Francis Wolstenholme, a bookseller in Minster Gates from 1820, erected the statue in the eaves of his shop. Alternatively, Historic England and the Inventory of the Historical Monuments of the City of York, Volume 5, note the inscription beneath the statue stating it was made by John Wolstenholme, bookseller in 1801. There is apparently some confusion here, but be that as it may, we know that the Wolstenholme legacy reached into the heart of the city centre, from the new cathedral ceiling bosses to public sculpture. Also buried in this churchyard is Joseph Halfpenny, artist and engraver in the late Georgian period. Halfpenny was a great recorder of York's ancient buildings and was employed by architect John Carr during his restorations of York Minster. Although I can't actually find the headstone where Halfpenny's buried. It's a flat ledger stone, but I've never been able to find it. Maybe another day. Towards the end of the 18th century, Halfpenny lived at number 26 on Jillygate and died a year before Thomas Wolstenholme. At the time, Jillygate and Bootham were fashionable areas of the city to live in. Perhaps in their comings and goings, the pair knew each other as passers-by on the street or were acquaintances through their appreciation of buildings and architecture. And that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for joining me. If you'd like to watch more videos of York's historic churches, then let me know where you'd like me to go in a future video. See you later.